Drastically improved. I've had extensive treatment and medication the last 2 days, which have helped me no end. I've had a small hit in the nets and hopefully be fit to play in the morning. It will all depend on how I pull up, but aiming to play. I certainly believe Jason will play again in this tournament. At the moment he's going to be assessed continuously over the course of the next week. He's out of the next 2 games. So we'll see how he pulls up after that.
But you're optimistic he might be back for Australia?
No, absolutely. If not Australia, maybe the following game. As we know, with injuries, people respond differently to treatment and medication. So it's a matter of giving him enough time to allow him. When we selected the squad, we did have conversations, sort of underlying replacements for particular players. So they're always ongoing in the background, and I'm not involved in a lot of them. I'm sort of quite focused on the group and task at hand. But there are always conversations going on in the background. I think the other day, certainly, it was a matter of getting the 2 scans back and seeing what process we could go through to get us both back playing as quickly as possible. And once we could get an indication of when that might be, we would cross that bridge. I've not been part of any discussion simply because I've been firmly focused on managing the players and everything else that's ongoing. Again, that's not something. I haven't spoken to Ed Smith since the selection meeting, so yeah, I don't know. I think it will be a case of speaking to Ed, because ultimately Ed gets the final call and say on who is involved in the 15, and then addressing how that would look in a changing room. I'd like to think in a couple of games so far we've been red hot favourites, and underlining our preparation is the humility and gratitude in which we go about things, and I think that's an important part of trying to beat teams like Afghanistan. We went through that same process in the warm-up game. They are a strong side. I said previous to the tournament they will beat teams in this World Cup. They haven't managed to do that yet, so that makes tomorrow, a tougher challenge. And I disagree with you. Adil's probably been at his best in the last 2 games. He's been unlucky. He's had 2 drop catches. I think that might have been the turning of maybe how his figures look. Yeah, I think they're 3 spinners. It's probably their strongest component as a team. It's a challenge that we're going to have to overcome. Pretty much every time we play against an Asian team, that's the case. You look over at where they're practicing against quicks, and look over at our nets, we're practicing against spin. I think having watched the game, Pakistan, it offered enough for both. I thought with the seam paces it actually went through and bounced quite nicely, and then it turned a little bit with the spinners. So we've just been out to look at the wicket. It still hasn't been dressed up, repaired and rolled, so we'll have another look again in the morning as to what balance of bowling line. And I think New Zealand are sliding under the radar. They're extremely strong at the moment, along with India. Both have put in performances. No doubt over the next week or so we did see Bhuvaneshwar Kumar go down in that last game. No doubt over the next week there will be more injuries and surprises throughout the tournament. So it'll be how teams respond to that and the strength that they have within their squad of 15 players.